Wow.
Can I do this?
Yes, one time.
All right.
One time. Oh, yeah. I think probably one of the questions that people want me to ask you is, have you talked to Johnny a lot since the show ended?
Frequently, yes. He's doing great, and I think he's looking forward to getting back to work.
Really? Doing what? Specials?
I think it'd probably be something in the nature of specials.
Yeah.
But, you know, we all miss being together over there, that's for sure.
That's probably why you're touring and doing this thing, huh?
You know, you can't tear these guys apart. We're a family, and we like to be together, and if it means getting in a bus and riding a couple of 1,000 miles to blow a gig, hey, man, that's it. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Did you just hear the groans that went up from backstage?
I hear the musicians back there. Yes. Wow. Do you watch the show?
No, actually, I haven't had that much time. I've been working, traveling a lot, and I don't have that much chance to watch the show.
Yeah, but you have seen it.
I've never seen the whole show. I've seen parts of it.
You watch, like, all those curtains go up and then you just walk out of the house?
looks like a bunch of ladies' drawers going up.
Because I know there's a curiosity factor. You have to want to see what this... I mean, after doing the show for so many years, you have to want to see what it's like.
Oh, I suppose there is a certain curiosity, but now you see I get more of a chance to check out all the other things, like here.
Yeah.
Boy, you know... In reference to what you were talking about, do I watch the show? You know, Johnny's leaving, let's face it, was the end of an era. And that's all you can say about it. And whatever else comes next is the natural thing that's supposed to happen, and let it happen.
Yeah. The night Johnny left, everybody heard the quote. He said some wonderful things about you. As a matter of fact, I have the exact quote. There's never been a better trumpet player in the world. And television is going to lose the last swing band in the world, the last great swing band. When he was saying that, how did you feel?
Well, it felt good in a way, but it also made you feel kind of a little sad, you know. But for the most part, I think he meant it as a tribute to myself and the guys in the band, and that really felt good.
Yeah, you know he went on. Yeah, he went on and he said, and to say this band is not hip is not to know the meaning of the word hip.
Well, I think he had even more that he was going to say, but there wasn't time for it. He told me a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
But I think that really kind of says it all. And the idea that you have to be between the ages of 13 and 30 to be hip just doesn't make any sense at all to me.
Yeah. The words young and hip are not synonymous.
Not necessarily. You can be young and hip, but you can be a little bit more mature and hip also, because you have picked up some things along the way.
Yeah.
You know.
What actually spurred the comment?
I don't know. I think there may have been some references, I'm not sure where they might have come from, about the fact that the Tonight Show band wasn't all that hip, and, you know, that it was time for new things. And when we go out and play in front of audiences, like, I would say your audience is a pretty astute group of people here, and I think we've already shown. And everybody is represented there. Yeah, everybody's there. You know, man, it's got to have a beat, and it's got to swing, and it's got to come from your heart and from your guts. And that is what hip is.
Yeah. We hear a lot of things. I mean, I read my paper every morning. I get up, look at USA Today, and go through the pie graphs and everything. And
wait a minute, the what?
The pie graphs. All, you know, you read USA Today. You got to read USA Today. It's a good paper, and it's easy. You know, and we read even the tabloids. What's true and what's not? How much friction was there over there near the end? I mean, we've heard about the parking space situation with Johnny. What's true?
Well, all I could tell you is that Johnny still had his parking space, and I still had my parking space, and that's all I give a damn about.
Yeah. How was NBC treating you guys near the end?
I think they, about like they always had.
Wow. Did you find it strange that things happen like say, for instance, everyone in this town, you know, myself and competitors like Dennis Miller included, did this whole Hollywood Reporter tribute to Johnny Carson. And the absence that you have to notice was Jay Leno. Doc, what was going on over there?
I'll be very honest with you. I couldn't make comment on that because I really don't know. But I think it's to your credit that you stood back and let the lines of networks and companies go by the wayside and take a moment to pay tribute to a man who really defined, in a way, what talk shows are about and handed over something very wonderful to everybody who's coming along after.
Yeah.
And so the credit goes to you guys.
Well, everybody in this town, I mean, everybody, it seems, did that, you know.
Yes, and I recall a quote of yours, you know, when it was apparent that Johnny was leaving, and what you thought about it and what you would do about it if you were in the position to follow him there. And I found that very interesting, and I thought the right thing, too.
Yeah, we don't want to go into my quotes, because my quotes
Have you
always
ever noticed,
get my ass in trouble.
have you ever noticed that what you really feel and what you say, when it gets run through about 6 reporters and comes out on a piece of paper, doesn't bear too much resemblance to what you were really talking about?
Yeah. I've also noticed since I've been in this business, I'm from Cleveland, I'm very naive. I also noticed that, Cleveland! I've also noticed that honesty is not real popular out here. I mean, we're supposed to say things that our publicists tell us to say, as opposed to what we feel in our hearts and what we know is true sometimes.
Whatever will do you the most good. Don't worry about whether it's true or not. Just say what's going to get the job done.
Yeah. That's Hollywood, though.
I'm afraid so.
You talk about...
But, you know, wait, I think there are a lot of very real people in Hollywood. I think that's only a part of Hollywood and a part of show business. I mean, I think there are an awful lot of people like yourself that say what's on their minds, and they're honest
Not that it's
down the
right,
line.
but I have a big mouth.
I think you're right.
Yeah, let's take a commercial and come right back with Doc.
Well, what are we going to sell right now?
Well, I don't know.
Can I hold up something here?
We don't do that here, man.
Oh,
That's,
yeah,
that's
you gotta
water.
do
That's
this.
tap
Hello.
water. Well, after the word...
Man, that's some pretty music over there.
Yes,
I love
indeed.
that.
Yes, indeed. That guy snuck over to the Tonight Show. Michael Wolff, he snuck over there.
I heard about that.
Oh, yeah, okay, you heard.
I thought he was trying to cop some of my outfits. I didn't know. Although he doesn't need any help. He's doing fine.
Yeah, the night before we came on the air, Mike went and watched Doc, you know, and he was in there checking him out. Speaking of outfits, how did this whole thing start? You're famous for your outfits.
Actually, Arsenio, it started with a wild necktie. You know, I'd been wearing the dark blue suit in the band, what we wore in those days, and, okay, now I'm going to stand out in front. I've got to have something to say. And so I saw a wild tie in the window that kind of fit my flamboyant nature. Johnny made a couple of comments, and then about that time along came the Beatles, the clothing revolution, the social revolution, the long hair. And I kind of identified with the whole thing, because I'm a bit of a rebel.
Yeah.
So, here we are, a few years later, wearing the things, you know what I'm telling you about.
You were actually there before Johnny was.
That's right. I did The Tonight Show when it was a local program in New York with Steve Allen many years ago.
Yeah.
I was only about 6 years old at
Oh,
the time.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
a child prodigy.
Where did the name Doc come from?
I got that from my dad, who was a kind of a frontier dentist up in the wilds of Eastern Oregon. And the day I was born, my father helped deliver me in the living room, and he wrapped me in a blanket, ran up and down the main street to show me off, and from that day on, they called him Big Doc, and they called me Little Doc.
Yeah.
And we dropped the little along the way.
Yeah. John B. Williams has told me a lot of stories about the days that he spent over in the Bob Hope studio, I think it's called.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Right.
He also has told me about your old racially mixed band and the problems that you had back then.
Well, I started playing in one of the first integrated bands before integration had been exercised as a law. It was the Charlie Barnett Orchestra, and it was styled very much along the lines of Duke Ellington. And I can remember being run out of a drugstore. We went in to get a cup of coffee in, of all places, Washington, D.C. And some of the black guys in the band and myself were sitting at a counter having coffee, and they threw us out of the place. And that's the first time I ever heard the expression Washington J.C. And it was well used at the time. And then shortly after that, all the same guys, we walked into a diner, maybe 40 miles south of Manhattan. And we walked in all together. We figured we'd be cool at that spot. And some redneck chef with a meat cleaver ran us all out of that place. And I'm telling you, we were only 40 miles away from the Apple. And that was a real shock to me. I mean, it was, to live through some of those things helps you to understand what the feelings really are.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know you like kids also. You and I have talked a couple times at the People's Choice Awards and a couple different restaurants, Comic Relief. Have you ever thought about teaching music?
Well, I've done some clinics and that sort of thing, and, you know, playing with high school and college bands, but I'm really disturbed with something that's happening in this country right now, and it's cutting back on funds for the so-called extracurricular activities, things like music, football, drama, and I think in many instances where the 3 R's are not doing the job of shaping a young person's personality and giving them an identity, that same child may be getting something extremely valuable out of sports or out of music or out of acting, and I don't think we have the right to take that away. I mean, how can you just simply say that's extracurricular and cut out the money for it? And what I would like to see happen in this country is a coalition of great athletes, great musicians, and great actors get together and really put some pressure on communities and on the legislators to see that money is restored to schools, because the most precious thing we have in this country is our young people.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
I feel very strongly about that.
Yeah.
I guess you can tell that. And there's another thing about that,
you
too.
got to give him more time.
There's one more thing.
He's off and running now.
I have one more thing to say about that. Here, you raise your children up, you want the best for them, and you send them to school. Our teachers should be required to have the same qualifications as a doctor or a lawyer, and they should be paid the same and respected in the same way.
Wow. Thank you for stopping by, man. This is,
Hey, I ain't leaving yet.
well, you're gonna stay and play but I just want to thank you, and I appreciate you being here. I'm nervous when you and Ed are in the house. When Ed McMahon was here, I was nervous like this.
Well, I don't know why. You've got a great show going here, and I tell you, I know Ed felt very good about being here, and the guys in the band and myself are just tremendously proud to be with you tonight.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. I got some dates I should mention. I'll let you do your own plug.
Oh, no, I can't
The
do
Doc
that.
Severinsen Orchestra will begin its tour on Monday, July 13th. Now, write this down.
I know where this one is.
Where?
That's at Wolf Trap in Vienna, Virginia, right
Absolutely.
outside Washington, D.C.
And then Pine Knob in Detroit. I've
Oh,
been there,
yeah, Pine
July
Knob in
22nd.
Detroit. I think Mel Torme is going to be with us on that one.
Another old hip cat.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. You're a very slippery, but classy interview. Jay Leno should send him a check.